the LGBTQ in Ghana might not be safe. And I know there was a lot going on with the anti-LGBT law and all that. We'll put that on the side for a minute today. But we have a video here that I wanted us to take a look at, and then we can talk about it to see why the LGBT might not necessarily be safe in Ghana. And on the other hand, we're going to talk about why the Ghanaians in the United States, the Ghanaians in the Western world, Europe, Germany, wherever, UK, why their marriages are failing. We're going to talk about that. Once again, welcome to another episode. Before we get into it, I have 2 videos that a brother sent to me. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to talk about this. Let's take a look.
Adiachi, na ibi my account is here, but block me. Block me and say, Enra, and you may know be around Diamond Hill for Quadra Society. For far around TV. Now, yeah, but I'm a no in South America who back. Now, me tell you what and say, Sam Cross and Yamana and HSN. Anthony de. And was out in South Family who be Sebi, Eba me Bema. No was out on the Niabre, when I'm a tour before, and near my fan channel. And then me born a kid papa, me born papa, ma, Nesecra, bombing sage, my message, square, every was I try. Oh, my papa, I know, just say my damage, no. Me born I'm 23 and I'm 20 trouble until I'm come, baby. The son of a boot to foresee. Will be a report to my assault and now, one can't jump and go before I met offer, and a mamma and alpha, and the Danny bro. The boy. I put on the Modio, but still I can't never hear you. I put a Modia, but still hear you. I see, we were family to Mamma and family to Tino, Pablo Kim, the boy, who can't out of mammy. They took a Odia. Some cries out of the good room and I'm on gay for and can't monk found one kind of Hodia be the Gomu to offer. In your room, you come as for my own fair and I'm here. My baby couldn't was ever see if I be my barometer, some community. Now, quite dear, Meta and Marco Penabon for Racahon. We had a bottom bone answer, Meta Penabon be Macahon. Oh dear, but never not the answer. Maintain find a picture and tell a picture. Let me say in the beam.
If you listen to the video, the brother is basically saying, well, one, it looks like a made-up story to me. To me, it looks like a made-up story. And that is why I think it's kind of like made up. Because I doubt that anybody will get in an Uber, and forcefully touch people without their consent. Like, who are you, a Zali, to be touching people without their consent? That is a little bit off for me, for a passenger just to get in your car, and as soon as they got into your car, they start touching on you, or even if it's not as soon as, even if you drove for a little bit, for a passenger to be in your car, and then all of a sudden start touching on you and all that, I didn't buy into that. But this tells a lot more about how this driver actually thinks. It tells a lot more about how he perceives and sees the world of LGBT and what he thinks he's allowed to do to them, which I don't think he's not allowed to do anything at all. These people are just as human beings as you are. But let's look at it this way. Let's just say it actually happened. Let's just say the passenger got in your car and this passenger belongs to that group and is touching on you, rubbing on you, whatever, right? Isn't the first thing to come in mind, maybe get out of my car? Maybe I don't consent to that, and so I need you to stop. And if you cannot stop, then I will need you to get out of my car and I will get another passenger. Like, what does that have to do with you actually attacking this person? Like, he claims that he beat him almost to death or whatever he was saying. What exactly does that got to do with anything? Isn't the option to, okay, get out of my car, I can't drive you? Isn't that what you were supposed to revert to? Like, this person was never in your car in the first place? So for him to even think that this is okay to record and talk about it to the Ghanaian people and put it on social media tells me how he thinks a lot of people actually condone this behavior. A lot of people condone the fact that, yes, you can attack this group. For what reason? What exactly did he do? Like, okay, he was touching on you, and then what? If you're not cool with it, just let him get out of your car. But then he recorded this knowing the majority of the people are actually going to condone the behavior that he's basically talking about in the video. The majority of Ghanaians are actually going to say, good job, buddy. You did well. Yes, I get it. Ghana is not a country that is looking to accept this lifestyle. Yes, we get it. But it does not at the same time mean just because you are not willing to accept this lifestyle that you have the right to attack them or you have the right to do whatever you want with them, especially in situations where they touch you, they grab you, or they do whatever. So let's just say, if it was a lady that was touching you and you didn't like it in the same manner, would you have done exactly what you did? If it was a lady, even if you didn't like this person, even if the lady touching you, grabbing on you made you uncomfortable, would you have reverted to this exact same solution? That's something to think about. And I think Ghanaians, at some point, we need to come to understand that, yes, maybe the whole country as a whole is not accepting this lifestyle, but these people are just as humans as everybody else. And they don't deserve any type of harsh treatment just because of a lifestyle they chose. And so he's saying this on media proudly. It's like you expect people to applaud you, like you did great. No, you didn't. That behavior that you're talking about, that you exhibited, no, you didn't. That is not a good behavior at all. And it doesn't matter what lifestyle this person subscribes to. It doesn't matter what. You are not entitled to attack people just because, well, they did something. I get it. They did something. You're uncomfortable with it. You want them. They're still doing it. But the results, the solution is not to attack them in the manner that you are exhibiting in this video. No, that is not the result. Let's look at this second video here, because in this second video, it's not more about the lifestyle. It's more about a pedophile lifestyle that they were trying to attack for. So let's look at this video. Come on.
No money.
I don't know you put on show corner anymore. What? I don't know who you put on the why are you who pay you over catch up with some baby with who you are one yet? Who you are one yet? Who you are one yet? I will be back. Who you are? Who you are one yet? Who you are one yet? But who you are one yet? Who you are one yet? Who you are one yet? But I don't know what like it was on Bedoutu. It's a question say. Who pay no more cover to say, and then I'll catch up like it was on Medu. No man is car. Maybe so. There from so. Where the many years? When have you? 40 years. And I could have how many years. If you over cast, I said not like it was. That Danga police station. Sorry.
So initially, my first thought was, are they really attacking him for subscribing to that lifestyle? Or they actually attacking him because he's exhibiting pedophilia, a pedo, because he was basically trying to talk to these kids and like basically grooming these kids in a manner that shouldn't be. The thing with the Ghanaian culture that I think at some point we need to stop, especially with, like when they catch thieves and stuff, which is a whole nother topic by itself, is that we've nurtured ourselves to think that when people exhibit behaviors that are not accepted in the country, that it's okay to resort to beating them up. It's okay to resort to assaulting them. It is not okay. It's never been okay. And I think in this day and age, it's time that Ghanaian community as a whole start to look at this like, okay, this is not an accepted behavior. What is the punishment for this? Versus that is not an accepted behavior, and so we just resort to beating you up, attacking you, assaulting you. Yes, what he did was wrong. I'm not condoning that. Whatever lifestyle that he subscribed to, that is his decision. He's a grown-ass man. He can do whatever he wants. He trying to groom these kids, telling these kids, do this and do that, all that stuff that he was, I don't really want to go details into it. All that stuff that he was saying in the video does not necessarily mean that these neighbors can resort to just beating him up. That is not a good behavior. And it's the same way when Ghanaians catch like a thief. I remember the last time I was in Ghana, and they said there were a lot of thieves in the neighborhood and all. And the first thing that came to mind was to ask, so do people still beat up thieves, like they used to back in the day? And they're like, yeah, actually, now they attempt to kill you. That alone made me start to think that Ghana is kind of developing, but really not. Because we've grown to a certain age in life that Ghana should grow past beating thieves up to death. Right now, we all understand that if you catch a thief, yes, they're going to face the punishment for it. Like, just if you take them to the police station and all, the police would deal with them. And if they were rich enough, they wouldn't have stolen in the first place. So it's not like you can consider, well, if we take him to the police station and they got money to bail him out. Like most of these people, most of these thieves, they ain't got money to bail themselves out, and probably nobody's coming to bail them out. The retaliation for exhibiting or doing something that is not accepted in the country is that we beat you up or we beat you to death. We try to unalive you some way, somehow. How is Ghana still doing this in 2025? It's crazy. These things need to stop. Yes, people are exhibiting lifestyles that even the whole country as a whole is trying to stop it. They're trying to make it illegal to be part of this group. However, anybody exhibiting this or flirting with you or doing anything of that sort does not necessarily mean you can just resort to beating them up, to assaulting them. You can't just resort to that. Ghana is growing now. We have a lot of foreigners coming into the country that are obtaining citizenship. Ghana is getting better. There are a lot of foreigners moving in. There are a lot of foreigners that actually live in Ghana now. We need to do better than just resorting to assault and attacking people. That is not the solution. It's never been the solution. But back in the days, we just didn't know better. Back in the days, the police wasn't all that. The police wasn't looking to fix these things. But right now, if you take somebody for stealing to the police station, they'll be jailed. They will face the consequences. Well, there are a few exceptions to it, like the richer folks and all that. Yeah, that's another topic for another time. But come on, Ghana is getting better. We need to stop this. Ghanaians need to stop this. Assaulting people for exhibiting a certain lifestyle is not the solution. Especially when you think that they are weak enough that you can just do this to them and nothing happens. In fact, this person talking about this should be arrested. In my opinion, if this incident actually happened, he should be arrested. If this incident happened that just because the person touched you or trying to flirt with you or whatever, you would just resorted to assaulting them and beating them up, yes, I think you should be arrested. I think if you were in the Western world, this person would have pressed charges against you. Maybe they just don't know better either. So, hey, if the police watches, I hope they do come after you. I hope they do. Now let's come to the second topic that I was talking about. This is the thing. The Ghanaians in the United States, the Ghanaians in the Western world, we are pressured into getting married. Well, it's not the pressure just in the Western world. It's just a Ghanaian thing. I'm guilty of it. And in fact, I need to check on my niece that is around that age right now, like 25, 26-ish. Yeah, I need to start seeing who you're dating. So I'm coming for you if you're watching this. We all guilty of that. And I think marriage is a beautiful thing. And so Ghanaians putting pressure on their women to get married around that time, I believe personally that it's a good thing. I believe it's a good thing. However, there are so many things that comes with getting married that I don't necessarily agree with. One, it's kids. And that is why I'm saying kids will cause your divorce, especially if you live in the Western world. If you are in Ghana, back in the days, and no, I don't even know how it is like right now in Ghana. But back in the days, if you married or you have kids, most of the time you get family around to help you with your kids. You got babysitter for free and all. It's not the same in the Western world. So when Ghanaians get married in the Western world, and then the family starts to put pressure on you to have kids, because if you don't, they start to look at you, the woman, as something is wrong with you. Most of the time, they look at you, the woman, instead of thinking of even the man. We don't. We just look at the woman and say, yeah, something might be off there. Once you begin to have kids, the attention and everything that you had for your partner begins to go to your kids. It's just normal that as humans, we care more about what we have created, right? All the attention that you were giving to your partner before and all, you give all that to the kids. And kids, they come with such a great responsibility. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And so most of these marriages in the Western world, yes, you get married and all. It does not necessarily mean you should have kids. It doesn't mean you should have kids or you should have kids in the very first year or the second year. You can take your time. You can plan this. You can have a family planning on this because they are great responsibilities. And the reason why I'm saying that kids will cause your divorce is that most couples in the Western world, one, the woman is working, the man is working. When you guys get married, you have just a little bit of attention to give each other. After you guys return from your work and your daily 9-to-5 job or whatever, even if you have a business, you have a little bit of time just to give to your partner. With that time that you have, once you begin to have kids, that time partitions and now the kid gets most of it. You don't even care about your partner no more. And I get it. As humans, we care more about the offsprings. We have created something. So the mom especially will start to care more about the kids than they do their partner. Kind of normal. The problem though with that is it begins to separate you and your partner. You begin to live like roommates. You begin to live like responsibilities and chores. All you do is play a husband role and a wife role. You don't do nothing outside of that. So the husband wakes up, plays the husband role, goes to work, come back home, foot the bills and all that. The wife cooks, takes care of the kids. You don't even have time for yourself. And then recently, my wife received a message, a chat from somebody that was asking her, how have you been able to do it this long? That pretty much brought my attention to why most of these Ghanaian marriages in the Western world fails. Because when these kids come in, the kids will separate you if you are not very intentional about your relationship with your partner. You have to be very intentional about it. If you are not intentional about, okay, we spend time, we go on dates, we do this together, you guys will slowly fall apart and just become roommates. You will slowly fall apart and you just become a husband and a wife. Just titles, you play roles. Because now all the attention goes to the kids. The husband goes to work, takes care of what he needs to take care of, foot the bills in the house. The wife cooks, does the cleaning, do whatever that she needs to do, makes dinner for the kids go to sleep, y'all go to sleep, have sex, wake up, repeat. There is no single connection between you two. So most of the time, if you noticed, a lot of people would just go to bring their parent or somebody from Ghana to come help them babysitting and all, because the responsibilities will begin to double up and double up and double up. And if you are not very, very careful you and your partner will start to separate. You will have no relationship at all. And that is how most of these marriages begin to fail. And at some point, you come to realize you don't even like him no more, or you don't even like her no more. Like you are just there. You don't do nothing together. Nothing. All you do is the kids. Everything is kids. Every single thing is kids. There is no intimacy between you two other than you guys having sex, which usually is on a routine. There is no intimacy. There is nothing binding you guys together. That is where the marriage begins to fail. 2, most of the marriages, the Ghanaian marriages in the United States, in Europe and all these places, if you go on social media, you will see these. If you go on media, you will hear a bunch of people telling you how their marriage failed and all, and you come to realize that friends fucked up their relationship. They begin to give so much time to their friends than they do their partners. They begin to give so much time to their friends than they do their family, their kids. All the attention goes to friends because yes, partying is good, having fun is good, chit-chatting is good, hanging out is good. But if all you do is just that, you are gradually separating yourself from your partner and your family. And eventually, as humans, you begin to see that every little problem becomes a big problem. It's not because the problem is so big. It's because that a lot of things is going wrong in the background that is now making every little thing a big deal to deal with. Friends is one of the biggest ones. People will just say, yeah, I have a best friend. Yeah, your best friend has a best friend. And so once you start talking to your friends about your marriage and your relationship, the community knows. And that is how most of the time people will be in a relationship, and whatever goes on in their relationship, everybody in the community knows. Why? Somebody told somebody. Somebody say, well, this is my best friend that I can talk to. And your best friend has a best friend that she or he can talk to. And that is how it goes in circles. And before you realize your marriage ain't shit in the eyes of the community, you start to feel the pressure that, yeah, this marriage is all people talk about, or this marriage is what people make fun of. You don't enjoy the marriage anymore. Now you want out. Now you want to get out of it. Now the troubles begin to pile up. Now he doesn't want to stay home, or she doesn't want to stay home. Now she's thinking about doing other things without you. She's thinking about going here and doing things without you because, one, you don't have time except for the kids, or sometimes not even for the kids. Sometimes everything is devoted for friends and friends and folks, just to go hang out and stuff. You don't have time for anything, right? And so that affects these American marriages a lot, because people don't make time for their couples anymore. Once they get married, it feels like a check mark. It feels like they achieved it. What next? Marriage is not a check mark. It is something that you need to wake up every day and work on it. And societal pressure shouldn't be something that you succumb to in your relationship. Yes, you got married. You're not ready for kids. Nobody cares. It's between you and your partner. Don't let society put pressure on you to have kids. Kids are expensive and kids are very time consuming. You can't just jump into a relationship, jump into a marriage, and then boom, start having kids. They will take a lot of your time. You might not have time for your partner. It will cause a lot of chaos. You need to find time for you and your partner. Start building this family a step at a time, making sure that you have a kid and you guys prioritize you over your kid. Yes, prioritize you over your kid. Before the kid, there was you.